Hello, friends. Let's see. In assembly heart. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's working, right? Mm-hmm. I see myself. Mm-hmm. So here we go. Still loading. Done. Redirecting to YouTube. Okay. Okay. Hello, friends. Me. Strangers. Welcome to Wake Up. Actually, morning, evening. Oh, close to 6 p.m. It's 5:48. Hmm. Going to read. Let me fix my hair. There we go. Put my glasses on top. I'm going to read to you from the modern day Upanishad, the Atmopadesa Satakam. Where is it? Where did I put it? English, England. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, over, off my bed. Oh, here it is. Mm-hmm. Let me show it to you. That alone. This here, a commentary on the 100 verses of self-instruction of Narayana Guru. Mhm. Okay. So you know what this book is about. Hmm. So with this verse, you are entering into an intense spiritual discipline. Thus concludes the commentary on the first verse, the Atmopadesa Satakam, the 100 verses of self-instruction of Narayana Guru. So, Atmo itself. Padesha is instruction. Shnata is 100. Kam is verses. So, shloka, 100 verses of self-instruction. The author, Narayana Guru. So, right here, you see his work. So, you South India's preeminent seer and reevaluator of ancient wisdom. Narayana Guru composed a number of mystical texts to elaborate his revelation. The best known of these is Atmopadesa Satakam. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ahorita no, it serves as the frame of the present work. So the best known of his work is Atmopadesa Satakam. Mhm. So basically, it's a 700 page volume is actually a commentary to try to make sense of, of the ideas that are Embraced, impacted, what by way of reading these verses, one might generate. Of course, this is what came out of the commentary came out of Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati. I will read a little bit about Guru Nitya, 1924 to 1999. Oh, so the, the, the former guru lived from 1854 to 1928. So I don't think they met because Guru Nitya would have had to have been 4 years old, a little kid, and to have met Narayana Guru. Being a little kid, and Narayana Guru would have been very old and in bad health. Well, how long did he live? Let's see. From 1854 to 1900, that's 46 years. Okay, 46. Remember that number, 46. Now add 28 to 46. Okay, 46. Let's see, 46 is close to 50. Let's round up to 50 and subtract 4 from 20. It's 24. 50 and 24 would have been almost 75 years. So he lived 74 years. So it's kind of young. Hmm, I don't know what he died of, but anyway, we I haven't studied a biography of Narayana Guru, but I do have a autobiography of Guru Nitya, who wrote the commentary. He wrote this book. Well, no, I shouldn't say he actually wrote it. I think what they did was they took the transcript from an audio tape recording of his commentary. It usually lasted an hour or so every day for 100 days. Took all that, made it into this book. So 700 pages. Okay, so what's the big deal? Well, so, so there's a little bit of a lineage here. So it started with Narayana Guru. So he lived from 1854 to 1928. Let's say that he composed the 100 verses in the late 1800s. Let's say 1880. And, and then he became well known, and he had a disciple. And one of his disciples, Nataraja Guru, he went on to continue his work and also gather his disciples himself. And one of his disciples is Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati, who was born in 1924. So a few years before Narayana Guru passed away, he was born and he lived until 1999. So he passed away 26 years ago. Guru Nitya. So, so I'm trying to figure out in, in between. So let's say that at his height, of, let's say 1980s is at its height of expounding it. 1980s, so so when he was maybe 60 years old, 50 or 60 years old, he was picking up disciples, and his disciples helped put this book together. Mhm. The book came, so anyway, um, maybe he started as a disciple of the Guru. So the Guru in between these two Gurus, Nataraja Guru, maybe Vidya started teaching. Maybe Guru Nitya maybe was 30 years old. And maybe that was way back in the 50s or 60s. 50s, let's say. I'm trying to figure out when. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Actually, I don't have to. I don't have to guess. I can look it up in this other book. Hmm, uh, hmm, 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 hmm. Oh, here it is. I found it right here. So this is the book. I will give you last year. I started maybe in February of last year. I started reading this book a little bit every day, like 3 pages a day. And I got halfway through the book, maybe less. But in this book, it mentions there's a little bit of Nataraja Guru, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. It's Narayana, and Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati. He was a widely traveled preceptor and prolific writer. Nitya studied at the feet of Nataraja Guru, Narayana Guru, and disciples. Together, they have brought a scientific and philosophical rigorous perspective to the study of the mystery of life, grounded in ancient wisdom texts. The Narayana Gurukula continues their instruction in a number of centers. What happened? In the autumn of 1977, the students, the American students of Narayana Gurukula, Portland, Oregon, USA, committed themselves to 100 days of meditation, which were held both in the mornings and in the evenings. Each day, attention was focused on the purport of one verse from Narayana Guru's main mystical composition, Atmopadesa Satakam. Each verse taken sequentially. So in the morning, the students would listen to the recitation of the verse of the day in its original language. Uh, it's Malayalam. Malayalam? What, what's the language? I wonder if it's Dravidian. There's a mixture of Dravidian and Sanskrit. But I've heard that it's 50% of it is. I don't know. I'm not sure how Sanskrit is. Anyway, they would listen to it in the original language, like 4 lines, and then followed by the English translation of the verse by the master, Guru Nitya Chaitanya Gati. And that would be followed by satsang on that verse, I would think. Could you call it satsang? Well, he gave a commentary of it for the next 15 minutes, right there. So, the gift of it was prepared to make 2 handybooks, one in Malayalam and one in English. This comprehensive text contained the meaning of the 100 verses, and the main guidelines for meditation was prepared with the earnest cooperation of Edda Walker. The complete text of the morning classes is available under the title That Alone, the Core Wisdom. Mhm. The name of the present book is neither this nor that, but on, derived from the 100 verses of Atmopadesa Satakam. In fact, the 99 verses that precede it clearly explain the this and that in which our life becomes entangled. We proceed from verse to verse, we are told, with the untold magic of the silent word, the secret of supreme realization. They, everyone speaks of one world, one humanity, the essential unity of religion, and of the irrevocable solidarity of mankind. But 100 years ago, when Narayana Guru presented his ideal of man as one in kind, one in religion, and one in God, actually it was more than 100 years ago, because it looks like he died almost 100 years ago, less than that. So let's say it was 120 years ago, he started uh, teaching the idea, his ideal of man, one in kind, one in religion, and one in God. The people who listened to him were not the masses who have been not massaged by martial might media. Narayana Guru's audience was the neglected, hated, hunted, tabooed pariah. He saw him a ray of hope for the persecuted masses of the world that toiled and toiled in sunshine and rain to feed, clothe and fatten those high ups in the society whose prerogative it was. In turn, to sin against man's dignity and compassion. So where was this Narayana Guru born? He was born in a South Indian village, which had the heritage of one of the 8 Pillais who challenged the regal right of the prince Tito Van Gogh set the precedent of thwarting social status quo. Further, he was born not long before the first shots were fired in 1857 by, by who? By the ranks of the Indian Army, which rose against the British hegemony in India with solid thwarted. The article augury, which symbolized the time of Narayana Guru's birth, later became significant in Indian history. The mark of radical outlook counted by India's masses began to question every authority. Sanction gave its approval to the tyranny of injustice. Mhm. 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 Narayana Guru was born in Shanti. No, Champasanti. Champasanti. Something like that. Near Trivandrum in 1854. He passed away September 1928 at Varkala, Kerala. His works are mainly written in Sanskrit, Malayalam, and Tamil. But the most popular among these works is the Atmopadesa, Satakam, the one we have here. 100 verses of self-instruction, which the present work contains a carefully closed translation into English. And of course, a brief commentary. For example, verse 1, for the verse goes like this in the original not Sanskrit, but Malayalam. Hari vilum yari tum avan dan itu suratum balikum darubini dan dan ancumu astasi teru teru Banan now. Yeah, what the hell does that mean? It means in and beyond the knowledge which shines at once within and without the knower is the Karu. To that with the five senses withheld, prostrate again and again with devotion and chant. Prostrate again and again, devotion and chant. The five senses withheld. So that's the sense deprivation. And we went on, and the word keru uh, is translated or literally means mold. I'm thinking of where you pour hot liquid into a mold and then you let it cool up, becomes hard, take it out. Hmm. But this mold refers to, what does it refer to? The absolute, the creator God, maybe? That from which everything comes? Or is it like Plato's the ideal object, geometric, geometric forms that are perfect, in ideal land. You know, the Peru, Peru, it could be referred to as the absolute. Hmm. Anyway, verse 18. Skipping all the way up to verse 18. Well, let's go to verse 17 as a reminder. Let's see. I won't read the Malayalam. I'll read the English. Heaven to tears of five petals, when pain arises, rotating, beginningless, hangs the lamp of the self, burning as the shadow of true being, with the oil of latent urges, and mental modifications as the wick. Now let's go to verse 18. The eye is not dark. If it were dark, we would be in a state of blindness, unable to know even I, comma I. As we do know, the eye is not darkness. Thus, for making this known, this should be told to anyone. Hmm. There's a few concepts here. Ah, the I, comma I. Like, comma. Which, let's go back a few verses, see if I see it. Ah, verse 11 mentions I, comma I. I, comma I. Thus, all that are spoken of, when carefully considered inwardly, are not many. That is one. As the receding I identities are countless. In their totality, the substance of I consciousness continues. Mm. Um, mm, hmm. Verse 18 in the commentary, there is some mention of the Buddha. It says, according to Buddhist legend, when Gautama became awakened as the Buddha, he marveled at the truth that became known to him, and he thought it was too much for an ordinary person to comprehend. So he decided to keep His realization is secret. At this point, Brahma Sampati appeared before him and said, "O blessed one, you have become the Buddha, the awakened one. What you have come to know can save the whole world. Not hold on to it as a secret. The world is sleeping and only a thin layer of darkness veils their eyes from right comprehension. If you share your noble truth, many will rise from their stupor to accept it." This admonishment was taken seriously by the Buddha, and he wandered far and wide around India for the next 40 or 50 years to awaken people to their own light. When people believe they are ignorant, this negative knowledge brings with it both depression and mercy. They lose the capacity to seek, to strive, and to understand. Thus, when they perpetuate their ignorance, life becomes truly dreadful and pathetic. And though we are not of the same stature as the Buddha or Christ, in our own simple way, we can share the little joys of our lives and bring at least a few people to their own center so that they can realize the worthwhileness of their own lives. Hmm. Uh, but before that, the commentary goes like this. There are moments of deep despair and darkness in our lives, yet even on such occasions, the consciousness of I continues to shine, pure awareness. Only what it is aware of is darkness. Even when the most intense physical darkness blinds our eyes, we do not lose sight of this inner awareness. It is true that people vary as regards the amount of information they have about things. You can also see that there is a difference in the quality of their comprehension. A wise man can be differentiated from a dull-minded person. In spite of all these differences, the mind of every person is animated by its own light within. So if a person says, "I am ignorant," it is to be taken only in a relative sense. Hmm. Hmm. Mhm. So I was reading from the Slimmer book. This is neither this nor that, but all. I didn't get Chaitanya yet. It is based on the same 100-day retreat in Portland, Oregon. Uh, uh, where he taught the Atmopadesa Satakam, where they transcribed it into this book, the larger book, the one called That Alone. Mhm. Uh, So that alone. Fix this. Let's see how it goes. That alone. Verse 18. Let's read verse 18 from this book, the commentary, which is only One, two, three, four, five, 6 pages long. Sometimes it's eight. So this is on the short side. Okay. So it starts off with occasionally we get into a state of emotional crisis. Yep. So we're reading it from the book. I will read it from my PDF so that I can read it like this maybe. Let's see. Uh, Nice and comfortably. Read it right here on PDF. So occasionally we get into a state of emotional crisis. A kind of depression comes and we feel very wretched. Yeah, guess I'm starting to feel a bit of that. Such moments we may even say, I don't see any light. I am in a state of absolute darkness because of the negative attitude we are in. We do not see the contradiction in this statement, which is that for us to know we are in a state of ignorance implies a degree of knowledge. If there is no knowledge at all, what one would not even see that one was in a state of darkness. At least there is that much faint light. Hmm. Interesting. Hmm. Wait a minute. Before I continue, I'd like to ask Gemini AI. Gemini AI about oh, let's go over here. Maybe keep that one open. Close this. Let's see if you can hear. Hmm. Just good, good job, good, good, good job. Uh, to good job, Buddhist practice of the mm, 7 week dark retreat. That is it done, and what what are the objectives? And once it's done, mm, mm, once it's done, that's 7 weeks. Oh, right. So if it's done, and what are the objectives? There we go. See if it comes up. In the context of Tibetan Buddhism, a dark retreat is an advanced spiritual practice in which a practitioner meditate in a space that is completely sealed off from all light. Lama Justin Von Bujo, an American Buddhist teacher and chaplain, has undertaken and teaches this practice, which is sometimes referred to as Yang Yoga. The duration of these retreats can vary, with some lasting for 7 days and others for 49 days, 7 weeks. The 49-day duration is symbolic of the bardo, the transitional state of consciousness experienced at the time of death. The objectives of the dark retreat practice are rooted in doctrine and other lineages of Tibetan Buddhism. Main goal include realizing the nature of mind without external light and sensory input. The practitioner is left with their own thoughts and experiences, creating an environment to explore the nature of mind and phenomena, developing visionary experiences. Yoga, the prolonged absence of light can lead to the emergence of unstructured appearances and progress into visions of deities or other spiritual beings. This is seen as a direct experience, not a visualization. Hmm. Yeah, this is seen as a direct experience, not a visualization. So you actually uh, experience, experience, seeing uh, vision of deities, other spiritual beings. Stabilizing the natural state, structure, structure. The practice helps in releasing tension and rigidity, leading to a state of total body energy and mind relaxation. Preparations for the bardo. Dark retreat is the simulation of the bardo, and by engaging in the practice, practitioners can prepare to navigate the transitional state at the time of death and potentially realize the rainbow body, which is a sign of liberation. Mhm. Mm. Lama Justin von Bujo has described his experiences with the 49-day retreat as transformative and life-changing, detailing visions of spiritual beings, animals, elements, and bardo deities. The practice is considered a restricted practice that should only be undertaken by senior practitioners under the guidance of a qualified teacher due to the intensity and potential for intense or destabilizing experience. Mm-hmm. Copy that. Mm. Tibetan dark retreat. That's a Tibetan dark retreat. So the sensory deprivation in it is only of one of the senses, right? there may be some deprivation of the others, uh, but not to that degree where the lights are off for 7 or 49 days. Hmm. Let's see. So, oh, see, see. There we go. Mm-mm. Hmm. Okay. So let's go to another AI search engine. It's so clever. Say, can you tell more about the Tibetan Buddhist dark retreat and spiritual practice in which the practitioner meditates in a state that is completely sealed off from life? Mm, mhm. And, um, and, and, and it supposedly qualifies to be and that for the system. And this time, the Tibetan Buddhist dark retreat, known in Tibetan as Moon Sound and Thumb, is one of the most esoteric and advanced spiritual practices in Vajrayana Buddhism, particularly within the Dzogchen and Kalachakra tradition. It involves meditating in a space that is completely sealed off from all light, often for extended periods ranging from a few days, several weeks, or even years. What happens in a dark retreat? Sensory deprivation. The absence of light triggers spontaneous visual phenomena, sparks, fireflies, and eventually visions of deities or luminous forms. In Zuxtan, this is part of Tugal, T umlaut O G A L, Tugal, where visions arise naturally without effort, revealing deeper layers of consciousness. Stages of transformation. So, the first 3 days, there's a melatonin stage. The pineal gland floods the brain with melatonin, inducing deep rest and introspection. Oh, days 3 to 5, the pinolin stage. Compound called pinolin may be produced, enhancing lucid dreaming and visionary state. DMT stage, days 6 through 12. Some traditions believe the brain synthesizes spirit molecules like 5-MeO DMT, facilitating transcendental experience. Justin, the teacher is Lama Justin von Budger, Budjar, Budger, how do you pronounce Budger, Budger, in Yang Chi Yoga. Lama Justin von Budger is qualified is a qualified guide in this practice. He has completed multiple dark retreats himself, including a 49-day retreat, and co-founded the Yangtze Yoga Retreat Center in Brooklyn, Massachusetts. His lineage includes ordination as a Repa in the Karma Kamsan tradition, training in the youth folk music tradition, which incorporates dark retreat, part of its visionary plan. He emphasizes the need for thorough preparation to avoid psychological destabilization. A curriculum of prerequisite practices to ensure stability before entering dark. So you have to go through a curriculum of prerequisite practices to ensure stability before entering darkness. The retreat as a gateway to formlessness, inner luminosity, and direct realizations of the nature of life. Why it is reserved for advanced practitioners requires stability in nature in the natural state, kripa, to provoke intense psychological and spiritual experience. Traditionally used to prepare for death in the bardo, or to realize the rainbow body, a state of complete spiritual liberation. If you are curious about the philosophical implications of how this compares to other visionary practices, I'd be happy to dive deeper into copy and paste so that we can do it. Mhm, 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 mhm. Hmm. 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 Oh, I think the song is open. Let's go back to England. Oh, shit. So, in the dark retreat, stages of transformation in a dark retreat often mirror deep alchemical and mystical processes, both psychologically and spiritually. While interpretations vary across the traditions, here is a synthesis of the core stages commonly described, especially in subject and esoteric alchemical framework. Stage 1 in Ingredo, the descent into dark. Symbolism, blackening, dissolution, chaos, experience, entry into the unconscious, confronting inner shadows and suppressed emotions. Purpose. Purification through surrender, the ego begins to dissolve and the practitioner faces the raw terrain of the psyche phenomena, disorientation, spontaneous vision, emotional release, and archetypal imagery. Stage 2, albedo, awakening the inner light, symbolism, lightning, illumination, experience of clarity and subtle light within darkness. The soul begins to recognize its own nature. So stage 2 is called albedo, when awakening the inner light, symbolism, lightning, lunar illumination. Experience the emergence of clarity and subtle light within darkness. Soul begins to recognize its own nature, purpose, integration of light as insight, assignment of perception, phenomena, lucid dreams, visionary encounters, and heightened intuition. Okay? Associated with planetary spheres and symbolic tests. Stage 3, Chitinita, solar illumination, symbolism, yellow and sunrise consciousness, experience, ego death, and rebirth into higher awareness. The practitioner experiences direct, unreflected light, pure consciousness, purpose, revelation, and spiritual empowerment. So stage 3, Chitinita, solar illumination. Symbolism, yellowing, sunrise of consciousness, experience, ego death, and rebirth in higher awareness. The practitioner experiences direct, unreflected light, pure consciousness, purpose, revelation, and spiritual empowerment. Phenomena, intense light vision, mystical events, and profound realizations. This is often called the dark night of the soul in mystical Christianity. Stage 4, Rubedo, embodied with the symbolism, redeeming integration, experience, return to the physical world. It transforms awareness. The practitioner grounds its soul insight into daily life, purpose, spiritual embodiment, and service. Phenomena. Then social wholeness, balance, and readiness to share wisdom with others. Each stage involves a cycle of purification, connection with the elemental fire of the stage, birth of a new self image, death of that image to allow further transformation. This mirrors the alchemical journey and the suction view of spontaneous presence and self-liberation. If you're curious, I can also explore how these stages relate to specific deities and visual transformations described in Tibetan texts. So, okay, and let's see. Hmm. mm, mm, mm. So, copying and pasting the information that I got from Copilot. It seems to have more information from Gemini AI. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Um, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm, mm, mm. You wait. In Tibetan yoga anatomy, especially in Vajrayana absorption tradition, their teeth are not just symbolic figures, but energetic archetypes that correspond to the five elements and their associated chakras. And these elements form subtle body architecture and deeply integrated into tantric realization. In yogic practice, it is a symbol of true form. Mhm. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Mhm. Hmm. 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 Sure, let's see. Hmm. If I can share. Hmm. Okay. Let's see if I can go to WhatsApp and see what I see. If I go here, hmm, see if I can. So five pure lights of primordial radiance. In Satakam, the five pure lights are the original display of awareness before dualistic perception arises. When recognized, they reveal the five wisdoms, where when misperceived, they become the five poisons. Mm-hmm. So there's colors, blue, space, blue the family I showed you, transforms anger, white, air, violet chana family, ignorance, red, fire, Amitabha, attachment, discriminating wisdom, green, water, Amoghasiddhi, jealousy, yellow, earth, Ratnasambhava, pride, equality. So these lights are the true nature of matter and mind. In the bardo, they appear as radiant pathways, but only those trained in Dzogchen recognize them as their own display. Types of rainbow body, stages of dissolution. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So, hmm, let's see. Okay, I'm going to send them. Still in it. Okay. So I'm going to read verse 18. The eye is not dark. If it were dark, we would be in nature, in a state of blindness, unable to know even I, I. As we do know, the eye is not darkness. Thus, we're making this known to be told to anyone. Hmm. Let's read the commentary. Occasionally, wait, let me flip it over. Here we go. Mhm. Here we go. There we go. Let me put it sideways. There we go. Verse 18. The eye is not dark. If it were dark, we would be in a state of blindness, unable to know even I, I, as we do know, the eye is not darkness. Thus, for making this known, this should be told to anyone. Occasionally, we get into a state of emotional crisis, kind of depression comes. We feel very wretched. As at such moments, we may even say, I don't see any light. I am in a state of absolute darkness. Because of the negative attitude we are in, we do not see the contradiction in this statement, which is that for us to For us to know we are in a state of ignorance implies a degree of knowledge. If there is no knowledge at all, one would not even see that one was in a state of darkness. At least there's that much. At least there is that much faint light. This light of knowledge, which is always shimmering like a spark within us, is not brought from the outside. It is self luminous. It is our own awareness. With this awareness, we can at least say, I am. When we say, I am ignorant, we have to first say, I am. Then it is not ignorant. When, when Descartes said, when he was assailed by great doubt, he became very confused. He wanted to find out if he knew anything for certain. First, he examined the many general laws which were the foundations of his knowledge, such as this world is created by God and the world exists and can perceive with the sense. Oh man, happened. What's going on? Oh, oh, well, to the next pit. Hmm. Hmm. How do I know the world is created by God? Because the Bible says so. That God created the world in 6 days and created on the seventh and rested on the seventh. Now, how do I know that what is said in the Bible is true? Because it is a book of revelation. So how do I know it is a book of revelation? It is stated in that book. Just not begging the question. The authenticity of the Bible cannot be revealed by the Bible itself. That isn't authentic. The Bible is not authentic. You cannot find trust in it. If I cannot put my trust in it, I don't have to believe that God created this world. In this way, Descartes rejected idea after idea as unexamined statements. Socrates said that the life that is not examined is not worth living. Descartes felt the same way, so he wanted to examine everything critically. In the light of reason, mm, shoot, in the light of reason, the testimony of the revelation seemed to be dogmatic, arbitrarily made, so he saw it as conjecture. Then he turned away from the world with testimony to sensory perception. A man with jaundice sees everything with a yellow cast. It is a defect of the eyes and not the world. Even when our sensory systems are of normal health and without defects, we see many optical illusions. You see blue in the sky when there is neither sky as such nor any blue color. It doesn't exist. There's only vacant space filled with invisible air. But because of certain diffraction of light coming from the sun, you see a blue dome-like thing above us. Now,